What's up my giant sized fan things, how you all doing? Hope you're keeping safe out there. Today I'm continuing my HULKAMANIA season with a bit of one I've just thrown in because I really like the figure and I want to review it and I don't want to wait till HULKAMANIA's over. But I can kind of squeeze him in, he's kind of a Hulk villain. I am of course talking about the Marvel Legends Deluxe release of MODOK. The rather hilarious looking big-headed genius villain from Marvel Comics. And this is a figure I wasn't really planning on getting. I did like it, but it was a bit expensive. It's like 50 quid in some places. Then I happened to see that Smyths had it at 40. I happened to have a £10 voucher for Smyths, and for 30 quid, I couldn't say no to this figure. I bought this figure from Smyths Toys. Actually really good for Marvel Legends at the minute. I was in there when I picked this up and they had the Netflix, not Netflix, what's it? Disney Plus wave, that's it. The one with the build a wing set for Captain America, the Sam, what's his second name? Sam Wilson, that's it, the previous Falcon. That version of Captain America. That wave, the Villains wave, which is also where I managed to pick up the Red Skull. Really cool. And loads of other things which I might have spent too much money on this week. Yeah, there might be another video series coming up soon just to pay for them. But anyway, you know my spiel. Before I get into the character, I'll get into the figure himself. Wait, no, that's not right. Before I get into the figure, I'll get into the character itself. Oh, it's one of them days. First appearing in Tales of Suspense number 93 in 1967. I'm going to guess. My editor will pick the actual date up here now. Okay. As a villain for Captain America. MODOK back then was a little different. His colours were mainly white as his armour, as his chair colour, but 99% of the character was there at inception. He's originally a guy named, I think it was George Tarleton, kind of like a schlubby, low level AIM. I think he basically just mopped the floors. But he worked for AIM, Advanced Idea Mechanics. And then he did a quote-unquote volunteer to take part in an experiment to design MODOK, the Mental Organism Designed Only for Calculation. And they did. They put him in this giant chair contraption, mutated him horribly into the big-headed, tiny-armed, tiny-legged creature we have today. Though, of course, being evil scientists, what do? They made their own destruction in a way. Because MODOK rebelled, took over AIM, renamed himself as the Mental Organism Designed Only for Killing, which is basically changing it from a C to a K, right? It makes a little difference. He's being his true self. And he took over AIM. And over the years, he's been a villain for many a character. Captain America, Miss Marvel, perhaps most famously, that's better, Iron Man. He's been a recurring villain in Iron Man for years. And because I've got to squeeze him into HULKAMANIA, he's also been quite a good recurring villain in Hulk. Kind of like the leader from last week. He's a very intelligent, super genius character. So having him up against the brutish might of the Hulk is a good matchup. And over the years, MODOK has been responsible for quite a lot of crap in the Hulk's life. At one point he brought back and controlled the Abomination. He whooped him into being his own little slave and sent him off against the Hulk. He was responsible for turning Betty Ross into the Harpy, a villain of the Hulks for many a year. Actually, really cool. I kind of really wish we get the Harpy as a Build-A-Figure. I really like that design. And in the last couple of years, he also was part of the Intelligentsia, which was a bunch of intelligent villains who came together to destroy the Hulks yet again. And he was also responsible, actually, along with these guys, for turning Betty Ross into the Red She-Hulk as well, which is also kind of cool. He's clearly got a thing for messing with the Hulk's love. And of course, what kind of Marvel character would he be if he didn't appear in other media? No MCU appearances just yet, I think, unless there's like a sneaky Easter egg somewhere. But he's appeared in most cartoons, like Avengers of the Earth's Mightiest Heroes, the animated Hulk cartoon, Superhero Squad, those Ultimate Spider-Man cartoons, or the Avengers Assemble ones. He was the main villain in the recent awful Avengers game. And actually, I first got to know MODOK in the 90s Iron Man cartoon. Still one of my favourite Marvel cartoons, but he was a lot smaller in scale. a bit more dwarfish in his size. He wasn't the massive head. He's not a massive head, but he wasn't the giant creature he is in the comic books. And he was kind of a toady slash comic relief character. The guy who took the Mandarin's orders and was basically the butt of many a joke. And I kind of would feel remiss if I didn't mention that god-awful Hulu stop motion cap, whatever the hell it was, series that was on like earlier this year. It was crap. It was really, really bad. But as I say, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention this awful show that turned MODOK into an unintelligent man baby, barely functioning, poor excuse for a family man. But yeah, no, forget that. Yeah, that's a bit of crap. What about figures? MODOK's had a couple of toys over the years, a few odds and sods, but like the two main ones really have been the one from the Iron Man cartoon, the Iron Man cartoon's toy line. That was really good. I didn't ever have it, but I saw one once and it looked really cool. Yeah, that's the extent of my interaction with it back then. Oh, it looked cool. I saw it on a shelf for a really inflated price. Most people who've had a MODOK toy will have had the old Toy Biz Build-A-Figure. I had that thing for years. It's probably still on a lot of people's shelves because, like, it's not a bad Build-A-Figure. And, like, if you're asking me if you've already got it and you need to replace it with this one, with like the new one, I honestly, it comes down to taste. I honestly couldn't say 100% yes, you need to replace it or not because they both have their charms. I do like them both. But yeah, anyway, that was just a quick background into MODOK, a little bit of his toy history. What do I think of the figure itself? This is a beautifully ugly figure. And I mean that in the most sincerest of ways. It's designed amazingly. Going into the colours, okay, colours first. A lot of the hover chair slash body armour is cast in slightly different gold plastics with different sorts of gold paint and like a metallic flake added to the gold. It could quite easily just be like a giant wash of a giant sea of gold where you lose the detail, but now they've painted in details. There's loads of really cool details on it, like the aim symbol being on the back of his head. That's really cool. The Kirby-esque like squiggly mechanical doodads around him. That looks really cool. It's got this great like blasting off effect which is underneath him, which is like a bit ostentatious. It's a bit much, but yeah, it kind of works. Maybe if it had been clear, it might have looked a bit better, but I can live with it being this vibrant red, which sort of like turns slowly into a yellowy orange. That looks really good. His face sculpt is amazing. It's big and fleshy. It almost looks like if you touched it, it would squidge a little bit. Though it is all hard plastic. It's just a really good face sculpt with great shading. And his arms are just cast in this purple plastic. They haven't really added any paint effects to his arms, but you don't need to. The budget's gone on the face, the little purple headband with the jewel slash light on top of his head. It's weird. Oh, and his hair is really well sculpted and dry brushed and washed. It's just overall a really great looking figure aesthetically. And it's not really as much as not really as much of a brick as you'd think. I mean, like, this is MODOK. He isn't going to be doing kung fu poses, but his arms are connected by ball joints. He has a swivel at the elbow, which can also hinge as well. He has universal joints at his wrists. His legs connected by a little ball joint, but they're really cool. Some people had trouble with them breaking when they first put them on. I've had no issue. His legs have got double jointed knees, and like ankles with actual rockers and hinges. So like it can do a lot of expressive motion. It's really quite cool. And as far as accessories go, he comes with two sets of hands, a fist and a control stick holding hand, which you've already seen, and a pair of shocked open hands. I'm not entirely sure. They're good looking hands, but I'm not entirely sure what they're meant to represent, except for maybe MODOK doing jazz hands. Best accessory comes with, though, an alternate face. You can just pop the face panel off and put on this other one, which is just like the first, really well done. It's well sculpted, it's well painted, it's expressive. The shading is really cool. The open mouth detail is great. The expression is just slightly angry or scared or shouting. It's just really cool, and it opens the future. It gives an opportunity to, like in the future, if they want to do different face sculpts, they could do different face sculpts and add them in. Like I know there's like another version of this figure being released like end of the year, which is from a comic I've not read, but it's basically like it features a MODOK dressed like Elvis. Yeah, but they've took the modularity of this figure and it's allowed them to just recreate this, well, to create this one by just casting new parts that slot onto, the existing structure. And that's really damn cool. Oh, something I don't normally bring up is packaging from Marvel Legends, because like most Marvel Legends are the same packaging, but this being a deluxe release, he gets his own box. It's a pretty cool box, to be fair. Nice image of the toy on the front, which I think it's actually a digital render of the toy, but it looks good. It shows off all the details of it. And on the back, all the features are shown off. It's just a nice box, to be fair. It's toy packaging, which isn't really my thing, but I can appreciate when it's been done well. And yeah, I actually really like this figure. Just going to get into a comparison now of some of the other figures in my collection. Here he is next to his first adversary, Captain America. This is the 80th anniversary version. You can really see now like the size of MODOK. He's definitely a big chunk of a figure. And I say for like, even for 40 quid, he's an okay price. For 30, I couldn't say no. Compared to his average figure, which is Captain America, he's large and imposing. That's really cool. Here he is next to one of his classic adversaries, Iron Man. Yet again, the 80th anniversary version. Looks really cool together. It's interesting to see like they've both got a lot of gold. It's done very differently. It's handled differently. And like just a short few years, how Hasbro has changed the way they do gold plastic is interesting to see. Here he is next to the Gamerverse Build-A-Figure Abomination, which turned up on my door the other day, and I will be reviewing him next week, hopefully. They're good together, just comparing him, as you can see, to a Build-A-Figure. He's probably Build-A-Figure size. The weight of them is... Well, Abomination is slightly heavier because MODOK is mainly hollow inside, because it's just a shell. They're not going to make it of solid plastic, but I don't feel like it's much of a difference, really. Like, if you took all the accessories that came with MODOK and held them in your hand with him and held Abomination in the other, there's not much difference. And I definitely feel like I'm getting my money's worth with MODOK, comparing him to a Build-A-Figure. Here he is next to the last deluxe release I bought. It was the Thanos. The two look good together. Yet again, they're both two big chunky figures, and as I said, yet again, it just shows the two different ways Hasbro can approach painting and doing gold on figures. Really nice. Here's the one I'm pretty sure, here's the one I have to put in to really get this into HULKAMANIA, but yet again, it looks really good. The 80th anniversary Hulk looks amazing next to MODOK. The two of them just have these, I don't know, they're both very imposing in very different ways. MODOK is quite clearly a very intelligent, mental-based organism, while the Hulk is brutish strength, but yet in their own ways, they're both, as I say, imposing. They're both powerful figures to have up on the shelves. Well, folks, that was it. I hope you enjoyed this review. I highly recommend getting this figure. I don't recommend getting him for like 50 quid. 40 is probably the right price for him. If you can get him a little cheaper, it just sweetens the deal. I really think it really should be on most people's shelves now. I mean, like, MODOK is a mainstay for most Marvel properties, and it's only a matter of time before he turns up in the MCU. Okay, folks, I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, please leave a like, comment if you've anything to say, and if you've not subscribed already, please subscribe. And until next time, folks, I want you all to stay safe, stay sane, and keep on rolling. And I'll see you all next time. Ta-da!